you were a player rep for so many years
Yeah.
in the NBA and took the position and the job extremely well, and you
Thank
took
you.
it extremely serious as
Yeah.
well. Tell us about your stint for that 7 years of being the player representative for the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, it was for me. It all started in 1999. We had the lockout in the NBA.
Hmm.
That was after I think I finished my third year or going into my third year, and it's a big lockout, and there was a big player meeting in Las Vegas, and Michael Jordan and Karl Malone and Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing, like all the biggest guys in the
Hmm.
league showed up for this meeting. So I knew it was important because if those guys are showing up,
Right, right.
something's this is
Something's happening. Yeah,
this is serious.
right.
But as a second year player and going into my third year, I didn't really understand the nuances and the details of what was happening. Like I was mostly just reading on the news what was going on.
Hmm.
And so after that lockout was finished, I made a decision that was going to be the last time I felt like I didn't understand what was going on with the league, the Players Association. I wanted to be an active participant,
Hmm.
in the process. I didn't
Hmm.
want to just stand on the sideline and wait for a bunch of other people to decide on my future.
Hmm.
I want
Yeah,
to get in there.
yeah. I feel you. Yeah.
So that's when I started becoming a player rep, for the teams that I played on.
Hmm.
And then ultimately that led to me running for a seat on the executive committee on the board. And I was vice president. And then when Antonio Davis basically retired as a
Hmm.
player, then I became president of the Players Association. And um, it was an amazing experience just having that responsibility to represent all 450 plus
Right,
guys.
right, right.
Um, it's not about just me or even the current guys,
Hmm.
right? It's you're making tough decisions based on the good of the game overall, where the league and the players ultimately will need to go.
Hmm.
Not exactly what's happening today. And there were some great days. There were some tough days.
Right, right.
There were times where my leadership was questioned, but that comes with leadership.
Hmm.
That comes with being a leader. And for me, I've always been willing um, to jump on the grenade, so to speak.
Hmm.
To save everybody else, I'll take the hit.
Hmm.
And that's what being the president of the Player Association is like. Like you might get questioned. People may second guess what you are doing, um, and you may have to question some people,
Right,
right?
right.
Because during my tenure, like there were some questions that needed to be asked on behalf of all players.
Hmm.
And so that led to some animosity and some questions, and I was second guessed. Our former executive director was questioned and second guessed, but at the end of the day, as far as I know, and I'm not in it like I was, the NBA Players Association is as strong and as powerful and as impactful as it has ever been. And I take a tremendous amount of pride in that because I feel like the guys that, just like for you guys, like you set the table for us and cleared the path for us, we did that for the guys that are now benefiting from the things that we were able to do. And then hopefully, with Chris and there's a new executive director,
Hmm.
Tamika. I'm not sure of her last name and how to
Hmm.
pronounce it, but she's come in, and I think to going from where the Player Association was to now they've had two black female executive directors
Hmm.
helping to run the Players Association. Like it's just grown a
Yeah,
lot over the years, and
yeah,
I'm thankful to have served, and I'm glad guys are benefiting from those that came before them.
yeah. You look at all the major sports, NBA Players Association, like you said, might be the best organization in all of major sports when
Yeah,
it comes to keeping their players involved, keeping them updated, trying to get the very best for not only the players that are playing, but the players that are going to be coming behind them.
hmm
I've always admired you when you were, president, and I've watched a lot of the interviews when you were under fire.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When you were under fire, but you never flinched.
yeah,
And that to me, but I already knew it. And so when I was CD, I was like, man, D good. Never flinch when they were questioning you about some of the leadership decisions that you
yeah.
guys were making.